Hello, everybody. Welcome to this evening yoga class intended to be gentle and inviting. We're in the last few percentages of the waning moon right now. So, if for you, like me, that means a little something, we can use that as inspiration to continue to let go. So, I'm going to come take an easy seat on the mat, bring my hands together at my heart. Relatively quickly, we're going to get up and stand, but let's start here with sitting bones on the earth and the base of the skull lifted towards the sky. And reach our head back a little bit. Feel the chakras and your vertebrae line up. Come into presence with what is in this moment. Start to practice your yogic skill of peeling away from that a little bit. Feeling it from the level of Vijnana Maya Kosha, the witness mind. And let your witness mind alchemize what you see and feel about that. Feel yourself receiving what could be a boon as a result. Feel yourself shift into just a little bit more positive space. And maybe it's just neutral space. Maybe we don't have to lean as deep as positive. Just that neutral witness mind. We've kind of gotten away from setting intentions for class. I'm going to bring that back. I used one yesterday for myself to get through a little moment, and it really shifted me, and it was evident in my blood pressure. It was so cool. So come up with a little mantra and use that through the practice. Here we go. Inhale your arms up. Let your right hand clasp your left wrist. Lift and spill over to the right. Don't get all pent up in your neck and jaw. Stay free. Maybe even swivel your gaze a little bit. And then let's take it to the other side. Left hand clasps the right wrist. Lean to the left. Stay free in your neck and jaw. And then come all the way up and turn your heart to the right and find that delicious lift and squeeze and swivel your gaze comfortably back for you. And when you're ready, swivel forward and take it the other direction. Lifting, squeezing, gazing. Feel yourself gliding into easier energies. Feeling your awareness as that alchemical process. Being aware from neutral and letting that help to heal. Come forward out of your twist. Make your way onto hands and knees. Find your way there nice and easy in your own place. Not your own place, in your own time. And when you're ready, start doing cat and cow. And just feel whatever you've been experiencing over the last few days. Maybe since the last time we did yoga live together. Feel what your experience has been. Let it undulate and ripple. And then transition this into downward facing dog. All in your own time, your own pace, squeezing the finger pads, letting your head relax, your forearms squeeze towards each other. Feet at about sitting bone distance with a little lift in your toes, a little drop of the heels. Hips reach up, sitting bones tucked to the backs of the knees, pushing the earth away with the heel of your hands, the mound of your index finger, all 10 finger pads. Feel a little spin of the inner elbows forward. Feel the day draining out of you. Make an easy transition into standing forward bend. You can use your core if that feels okay, but tonight's class is meant to be really gentle. So anytime you don't really want to use your core, I wouldn't totally let it go, but just let things get a little bit easier so you find the practice that works for you. Let's shift this into ragdoll. So walk your feet out as wide or wider than your hips. Bend your knees, relax your head, let the weight of your shoulders and your head help to bring you into this ragdoll position. Gentle lift of your toes, rocking forward and back from the heels of your feet to the balls of the feet, setting all four corners down, taking your hands to your thighs and find halfway lift, When you feel your spine nice and long, your hips back, your heart forward, the base of your skull forward, go into that intention you brought to class today. Let your mantra roll through your brain. And come on up to standing with me. And take a wider stance so we can come into temple pose. Down we go. Nice and slow, smooth and soft. Some of us will stay way up here. Some of us will sink down closer to the mat. We'll all find our Goldilocks place. And then once you find your Goldilocks place and your hip bones, your knees, and your toes are going the same way, feel the shoulders roll back a little bit. Relax them down. Pelvic floor up. Deep low belly in. We just massage everything into the position. We're building heat so that when we stretch down on the floor in a few moments, we'll have something to work with. Inhale your arms up. Out in front of you. Holding it parallel with the earth. Reach forward, gaze down, round your upper back. You're nice and solid in your foundation. Maybe you're starting to build a little heat. Maybe you want to sit a little lower, but don't stress your knees out. Bring your gaze up. Bring your arms with you. Staying steady in your foundation, drop bent elbows down and back, lift your chest and tilt your chin. Feel the squeeze of your shoulder blades together. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, start to straighten your legs. Reach your arms up to the sides of the ears. Turn your toes to face forward and take a swan dive. All the way down until you feel your torso in the middle of your legs and your head and your neck relaxed. Now we're going to swivel the left toes to the front of the mat and take the right heel back, and you're going to come into a lunge shape with your hands underneath your shoulders. Maybe you scoot that right foot back a little bit more. Heel back, heart forward, nice stretch here. On the exhale, straighten the left leg, lift the left toes, and find the stretch there as you drop your right heel. Come forward, back to the lunge shape, and walk your hands to the right. So you end up in that space you were when you took the swan dive forward from your wide-legged standing forward bend. Bend your knees, roll from the back of the heart all the way up. These are the last moments of the standing class. Inhale, arms up. Arms squeeze into your ears. Start to bend your knees, come back down into temple, which means, what am I trying to say? Pivoting the heels in and turning the toes out. Knees and toes point the same direction. Pelvic floor up, deep low belly in. We feel nice and strong and stable. Arms out in front of you. Reach forward, gaze down. Sit a little deeper maybe, but no stressing out your knees. Arms up, elbows drop, down and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs go straight, arms come up, toes turn forward, swan dive. Feel the stretch. Turn the right toes to face the back edge of the mat. Swivel the left heel back. Come into a lunge, going the other way on the mat. Scoot your left foot back so you get that nice stretch and activation in your quadriceps. And then straighten out your right leg. Lift the right toes. Drop the left heel. Inhale. Exhale back into your lunge. Walk to the left. You're back in that middle place again. Knees bend. Hands on your thighs. Up to stand. Beautiful. Feet come together, standing prayer at the top of the mat. We're back down to the floor. Inhale, arms down and up. Dive forward. Halfway lift. Let's pause. Hands on thighs, shins or floor. And then hands plant, walk back, down dog. This time maybe pedal the heels to the floor alternately. And then come back down onto your knees and back onto your seat, sitting bones on the floor, legs stretched out in front of you. Rocking on your bum, finding the points of your sitting bones, relaxing your shoulders, and just stopping here. Feel your feet go soft. The base of your skull floats up. Your head gently pulls back. Shoulders are down. The sternum bone, that part, lift it up. Bring the ribs back in. Feel that nice, smooth, straight pathway, passageway you've created for your breath to come in your nose. down your throat and reaching out and expanding into all the branches of your lungs, including the tiniest and most delicate. Receive all that light, awareness, breath, your intention. And on your exhale, feel that stuff taking the place of any junk you were hanging on to in your respiratory system, and exhale it away. Inhale your arms up. Wiggle out of your waist, hinge forward, dive in first with your feet soft. And then with the base of the skull pulled away from the lower back, the heart pulled away from the tail. Maybe we pull the pinky edges of our feet back and send forward through the inner heels, but we don't tuck the chin. Nice full inhale and exhale. Maybe even pressing through the sitting bones, down the backs of your legs, into the backs of the heels, press down into the earth. Maybe it's not really flexing our feet so much as just kind of straightening them up with the wall in front of us. And then softening the feet again, drawing through the heart, base of the skull, crown, folding in perhaps a little deeper, keeping your feet soft. Maybe tuck your chin, or rather let it roll in towards your chest. Just let the day be what it is. Compassionate awareness. Cultivating perhaps a little bit better mind space for ourselves as we finish up the day and roll into a night's sleep. Those of us doing this in the morning, it's a nice, easy break open without any judgment. Let's all have a moment of radical self-acceptance and let that ease us into the last few moments of Paschimottanasana. Hands on the earth, walk your torso up. Nice and slow. With awareness, roll the shoulders back, up through the heart center, down through your sitting bones. Right knee bends, pull your heel in. Let's start by just keeping the right heel tucked in towards your sitting bone, wrapping your arms around your right shin, sitting up really tall. Full breath. Exhale. Can you bring the crook of your left elbow to the front of the right knee? If that's too deep, too tight, left hand to the outside of your right knee. Roll your right shoulder back, gaze back. You're turning your heart to the right. It's a twist. Now right finger pads land where it feels most supportive for you to keep your heart lifted, and your core squeezes you into the twist. Maybe for a moment, we can take our awareness into the four corners of the right foot, tucked up closer to the right sitting bone. And feel what kind of energy the earth is offering us. And what do we have to offer in exchange that she can alchemize and transmute for you? Become aware of the back of your left leg from behind your heel, through your calf, the center line of the back of your left thigh, your left sitting bone. Feel it plug down. Use that energy in ways that feel significant to you. And then take a really easy swivel forward. Maybe it's a moment to bring the chin over the heart before you bring it all forward. Then drop the right knee open, right foot up inside your left thigh, or slid further down your leg if it's more comfortable for you. Let's inhale the arms up and tick forward just like 2 or 3. Tick, tick, tick. Not so far. Not to any point of real deep resistance yet. Now sit your finger pads to the floor and keeping the heart away from the tail, crown away from the heart, base of the skull away from the lower back. We'll tiptoe our fingertips forward. And when we feel those moments when we would need to round our back in order to tiptoe any further, we hold there. And maybe the warmth of the pose starts to open us up a little bit more. Maybe your forward fold starts to ripple through the fascia and starts to give you a little bit more flexibility. Maybe it's just patience. Base of the skull away from the lower back, heart away from the tail, crown away from the heart. We tiptoe a little bit further if it feels available. And at that point, however far we've tipped forward, take the right hand to the outside of your left leg and turn your heart to the right. And slide your left hand back. Let's keep it on the mat to begin with. Feel the belly scooping in and maybe a little lift in the pelvic floor is what's twisting you to the left. The base of your skull is away from your lower back. Your right hand's on the outside of your left leg. If it feels like your left shoulder wants you to, lift that left arm. Full breath. Exhale. So as you squeeze, feel yourself letting go. Compassionate awareness allows you to release what's not serving you, or at least transmute it into something filled with more light. Let your left hand come down, slide it forward, and hold for 4. When you feel ready, you can start bringing yourself out of your forward fold, hands on the earth to walk yourself up. Right knee up. Let's take the right leg over the left leg. I hope I can remember this whole series, but I think I can. Dive over your legs. Breathe. Sometimes I start to get a little fancy about what I add on, and then I think, well, you got to go back and remember that whole sequence on the other side. So this week we'll be talking about Saucha, which is the first of the Niyama. The Niyama is the second branch of the 8-limb path. Niyama are observances, and there are 5, just like the yamas, the restraints, there were 5. And so the first of the 5 and the first of our new week in July is Saucha. I'm not totally sure I'm pronouncing that completely correctly. Let's bring the torso up, uncross the legs. You can windshield wiper a little bit. And then left knee bends to bring your heel in towards your tush. You settle evenly on your sitting bones. Squeeze the left thigh in, heart up, maybe pelvic floor deep low belly in and up. Sitting up nice and tall. Maybe even close your eyes for a moment. Feel the 4 corners of the left foot on the earth. Feel the exchange of energy between you and whatever you like to refer to Earth as, our planet, Earth, Gaia, Mother Earth. Feel the exchange of energy through the back of your right leg from heel to sitting bone. And if it feels okay, bring the crook of your right elbow in front of your left knee. And if that's too tight of a squeeze, right hand outside of left knee instead. Lifting your heart, start turning to the left. When you feel like you've turned as far as you're going to go for now, finger pads down to find the lift, the squeeze, and the gaze back. And we hold here. And this squeeze, this stimulation, this is one of the things we look to do physically in yoga in order to sort of squeeze toxins out. And as you squeeze in, parts inside of you are getting compressed, so glands get stimulated. Pancreas is getting a good stimulation right now, and so this is the idea of kind of purifying ourselves during practice. So saucha, or cleanliness or purity, fits into yoga in all kinds of ways, and we'll do more talking about that in the morning. For now, I kind of just want to be quiet with the practice. Just remind you that's a focus, as is the second chakra and the orange of your feeling self. So let's unravel this position slowly, chin over heart, then forward and together, left leg out and on top of right leg. I don't think we did that yet, did we? No, we brought the left foot up inside the right thigh and dropped the left knee open. There we go. Now we're in the right spot. All right, inhale, arms up, and dive over your right leg. And this is where we just kind of got comfortable and warm with the position initially. Oh, I know what we did. Let's come up out of it a little bit. Everything's up and away, right? Including the base of your skull, so your chin's got that little tuck. And then hands on the floor, and then we tiptoed into it. And when you find that place where the tiptoe takes you and you feel like I'd have to start rounding my back, even at the upper back, we're going to try not to do that just for a little bit. And if you've been practicing with me for a while, you can always modify. You've learned what works in your body. So You're your own guide, and I'm just here to make some suggestions to give you a little framework. So every time we feel the muscles kind of let go, and maybe feel it kind of moving into your fascia, maybe you tiptoe a little further forward, but not in service to that long spine. But eventually, once you get deep in, if you want to round the upper back a little bit, you can. Just remember, we keep the foot soft if we let the chin roll in. Feel yourself dive in as deep as you're going to go for now. And take your left hand to the outside of your right leg, and drawing your heart and your crown away from your tail, start to turn your heart to the right. You use your core to squeeze. You go as deep as feels good. And then right hand slides back and stays on the floor for now. So you kind of nuance your body, right? Maybe you even need to bend that right knee a little bit. Maybe there's a little lengthening of the torso or playing with the squeeze to the right. Maybe you realize you're starting to lift your chin, and so you lengthen through the base of the skull. And then you talk to your right shoulder and feel if it wants to be lifted or your arm wants to be lifted. It gives you a little bit more leverage to twist, but you want to use your core. Long through the base of the skull is always my call. I'm always lifting my chin too high. Be in this energy of bringing better states of being to the mat so that you don't create that tug on your practice. You're not lugging a bunch of stuff behind you as you move through your poses, but I've come to believe there are days when we have to bring that stuff in, when it just won't lessen and loosen. We bring it to the mat, we let it be heavy with us, and we work it through that way. Take your right hand down, slide it forward, reach your heart towards your right toes, dive in for the last 4 cycles of breath in this position, of course. You're really listening to your body. So, especially now as we get into about the last 10 minutes of class, if you start to feel you're really in tune with what your body wants and it doesn't quite match up with what I offer, that's fine. You go to what your body tells you to do. Let's come up out of that position. And now we'll bring the left knee up and cross the left leg over and take one more dive over our legs. The back line should be pretty, at least stimulated, more open, more receiving. Let go, wash the day away. Cleansing, observing the energy that we brought to the class. There's a word I have not been saying much at all for the last, year. Bhavana. I used to say it all the time. It's like your feeling tone. So it's kind of like the shape of your energy field or the frequency you're carrying. So we're working maybe with creating a little bit better bhavana to bring to the mat. All right, let's come up out of that and uncross the legs. And I want you to be really easy with your spine. And if you happen to have something you can use like a pillow, I have my blanket. Go ahead and bring that to put it underneath your head. We go onto our backs and slowly offer the spine to the earth, because I bet your spine feels a little vulnerable like mine does after all that forward folding. So bring the knees in once you're down and rock a little bit side to side. And as you rock, scoot your hips a little bit down so that you get the lower back long. And then keeping the knees bent, set the feet to the floor and just hang out here for a moment. Arms relax out. You'll pick up your tush and kind of find the right place so that you land more purposefully on your sacrum, the bone at the low back. And there's no padabandha in our feet. We're not locking down, but we feel our feet on the earth. And we feel that our toes are a little bit lighter than the balls and the heels. Relax your shoulders down into the floor. Make any adjustments you need to. It's not Shavasana time yet, but it's that kind of comfort I'd like you to find. Once you have found it, If your body feels ready to do so, walk your feet together and then drop the knees open into reclined butterfly. That always requires a little bit more scoot down of my sacrum. Wiggle into your pose. Beautiful. Take your awareness to the second chakra. See the orange glow and feel this pose, this shape you've brought your body to, allowing, giving permission to that space in yourself to release anything that it's been holding for too long. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you're going to point one knee to the sky and just gently rock side to side. And maybe it feels good to do that even if the open knee thing works for you. And we give ourselves the space to just feel what we feel and use the breath to anchor ourselves. Middle fingers to thumbs, Akash Mudra to create space. And as we hold those fingers together in that designated posture, we feel it clearing the space in the pelvis and the hips, the space behind and below your belly button, the sacral chakra of feeling and of water. And the knees come up, feet walk out wider than your sitting bones, and the knees pull up towards your chest, sort of between the outside of your chest and your shoulders is where you're pulling your knees up to. We're going to do happy baby. Remember, happy baby might be just sliding your hands behind your knees for some of you. I'm going to do the inner leg happy baby. So arms inside our legs to cup the heels, and then bottom of the feet to the ceiling. And then maybe a little rock from side to side. And even though our hands aren't in Akash Mudra anymore, we broke open that energy. We feel ourselves creating space with the rocking. Another option for this version of happy baby with your arms inside your legs is to kind of wrap your arms and use your hands to cup the Achilles tendons or even your calves. Depends on how long your legs and arms are, what works out for you. Coming into center space and holding there without rocking. For yourself intentionally sculpting your bhavana, your feeling tone. Release the feet to the floor. Keep them wide. Arms relax back out. Fingers back to Akash. Middle fingers to thumbs. Knees rock right and left to give the stretch to the front of the thighs. I'm going to slow down, and when my knees drop as far as they're going to go to either direction, press forward on that opposite hip bone and get that really, really satisfying stretch. Clearing out the day. Bringing a cleaner awareness to our night's sleep. Not dragging all that stuff into your sheets. As your head hits the pillow, you feel yourself free of all that stuff. Let's drop the knees in on each other and start to shift into Shavasana. You can keep your hands in Akash Mudra if it's feeling healing to you. And if you want, just let the hands fall open. Base of the skull up towards the top of the mat. Sacrum nestled into the floor. If at some point you want to separate the knees and slide the feet forward to take that more classical shape, please do. And feel yourself just relax into the moment. First, held by your awareness, sort of focusing yourself in on the shape you're making on the mat, and the way it feels on the back body, and the way your tongue is relaxed into the bottom of your mouth. Space between your eyebrows is smooth. And your temples are clear. And the space between your scalp and skull feels magically cleansed, like some kind of little scrubbing bubbles of awareness. And it eases the weight you're feeling and thinking mind and gives it permission to kind of go into autopilot for a moment so that you can take your awareness from your head into your throat. And feel yourself with your awareness on the blue chakra, able to clear any words that you didn't say today or that you swallowed. Take that energy down into Anahata and meet up with the green in your chest. And use the healing of your awareness and the light of your consciousness to let go of anything in the heart center that can be released to give you just a little bit better night's sleep. And same thing for Manipura. We take all the busyness of the day and we release it into a moment of alchemizing that energy into something that will help us sleep more. So let's take that now, alchemy of the third chakra, and deliver it to the orange chakra, which is our focus for July. And let the better energies that you cultivated in those 1, 2, 3 chakras we just moved through, throat, heart, and ribs, and let that healing help to heal the feeling self in you. Let it open up and heal, whatever that means to you. Let that break open a little pocket of creativity. Feel all your awareness now centered on your creativity, your ability to bring something to life that wouldn't have existed without your idea and your hard work. Be in the form of a hobby, a job, helping to raise children, getting to the mat even on the days when you really don't want to. We celebrate all our better choices. Hands relax out of Kash Mudra if in fact they were still in. We surrender completely to the moment. We feel the earth holding us. We feel all that mind stuff we brought to the mat today now converted, transmuted, alchemized into the fuel for the second chakra. And for now, we'll use that fuel just to heal it, to break open our creativity, to remind ourselves to enjoy ourselves. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for at least 2 more minutes. Feel yourself really surrender to the mat and feel you taking over. It's now your choice when this particular practice comes to its conclusion. And from here on my mat, I wish you a really heartfelt namaste, a good evening, a good day to come. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.